Hello and welcome to the SonRise Youth Live podcast. It's good to see everybody again. Today joining me, I have a usual guest of Devin. We also have Ben. Welcome back, Ben. Good to see you. And we have a new special guest of EJ. It's good to see EJ, as he's always apt to help us out when we need it, and he's a longtime friend here. How are you doing, EJ?
I am great. How are you guys doing?
I'd say I'm doing pretty good. I don't know if I can speak for the others though. Some of them look kind of sad. No, I'm just kidding.
Some of them, there's only one other person you could see.
Well, and that's just how it is. Sometimes I call it as I see it. No, EJ, what have you been up to over the last couple weeks? I should say.
Schoolwork mostly. I don't want to say visiting family and friends because always supposed to be doing that, but kind of doing that, you know.
I understand completely. Well, I'm glad you've been finding things to keep yourself happy and busy, and getting more education is always good too. All right. Oh, you got a new banner, E to the J. I like that. E to the J, yo. He does these nicknames for everybody. All right, Ben, how have you been?
You know, I've been pretty good.
Yeah?
Actually.
That's good. What have you been up to?
Nothing.
Just the way you like it, right?
Yeah.
My goodness. That's the sign of growing up, when you can look at your friends and family and they ask you, well, what did you do this weekend? And you go, nothing. And you're smiling about it. You're like, nothing. I didn't do anything. That's how you know. Because as a kid, it's like, oh, I didn't even get to have a sleepover or anything. This is a lame weekend. But as an adult, you're like, I didn't do anything. It's great. Yeah. What's up, Ben?
Oh, my cousin Matt is coming over on Thursday.
Oh, Matthew Coleman?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, well, that'll be cool. Maybe you guys can share a camera over there. We can have all three of you on one camera. You, Matt, and Jack. Why not? All right. And next, we have, of course, a crowd favorite. Devin. What's up,
Hello.
Secret Lego Man?
I'm doing good. I've been playing Beat Saber, and I'm gonna go to three of my uncles' houses for Thanksgiving this week.
That's a lot of uncles.
Yeah,
Man.
they all live like within like 30 minutes of each other. So
Okay, so you guys get to make the road trip then.
yeah.
Got a slight screen artifact going on up there. Okay, anyways, that's awesome. So what we are going to do is we are going to play ourselves a game. And that game is trivia. And do you know what you win if you win the trivia?
A sad feeling.
Absolutely nothing. Even worse. No, it's okay. You'll get bragging rights over everybody else. You can tell them how awesome you are. EJ, feel free to participate in this one as well. But before we get into that game, we're going to have our opening prayer. So if you could all bow your heads for me. Thank you, Jesus, for this day. Thank you for everything that you bestow upon us. Thank you for these blessings that you give us in our lives. Thank you for giving us the ability to come together to discuss your word and to grow closer to you, God. I pray that the message that we go through today would fill all our hearts and bring us closer to you. I pray this in your heavenly name. Amen. So let's go ahead and get this on the road. We have some trivia about Thanksgiving. There might be a turkey in there. Who knows? Okay, thought I was about to sneeze. I'm good. All right, so let's get this started. Here are the rules. This one's going to be a bit of an open format. You guys are just going to shout the answers at me, basically, and whoever gets it first and gets it right first automatically wins it. Got it?
Got it.
Yes.
Assuming there's no multiple choice. In a multiple choice scenario, I'll let each of you vote for which one you want. So. All right, so let's get started with the first question. What year was the celebration that is most commonly considered to be the first Thanksgiving? I actually know this one. No one's calling in yet.
1850. 1850.
1850? I don't think so. What do you think, Ben?
I don't know.
No idea. You got to throw out a number.
1500.
Not the 1500. No.
1852.
Nope. Devin's looking it up, I bet. That's why he's got his mic muted. He's typing it into Google right now.
1853.
No. This point goes to no one because it was indeed 1621.
Wow.
Yep.
Bruh.
Yep. In fact, it's actually a 2-year answer if you really go into the depth of it, because the two ones where they were figuring it out was 1621 and 1622. Interestingly enough. My goodness, right? Fix that a little bit. Come on, you. There. Okay. Now then, question number 2. So no one got that point. How long did the first Thanksgiving celebration last? What do you think, Ben?
3 days.
3 days. That is correct. Excellent work. You got yourself a point. Did you learn that one?
Yeah.
All right. Well, that explains it. I didn't know that, believe it or not. I pay less attention to those kinds of details. I only like the really interesting stuff, like did they have cranberry sauce?
That's very interesting.
All right. We have Ben in the lead with 1 point. We'll move on to question number 3. When the religious group that would later be known as the Pilgrims left England to practice their religion freely, where did they go? Oh, this one's open to anybody.
I don't remember.
Oh, not from Ben. Devin, you got an answer for me?
America.
America?
Yes.
What is America? Oh, I don't think so. I think I know the answer, though. I'll give you, you know what? This one actually is a little tough. I'm going to let EJ answer first, and then I'll give you guys a hint.
I don't know.
Okay. In this country, and I might actually be wrong too, but I'm pretty sure this is right. People oftentimes wear wooden shoes. Oh, wait, he already put it up there. I was going to say the Netherlands, also known as Holland. It's where the Dutch are from. My goodness. He just put it on the screen. That's fine. No points for you. Okay. Question number 4. But yeah, actually, they got kicked out of Holland eventually. Under which president did Thanksgiving become an annual holiday? There are 3 technical answers to this, but the way the question is worded, there is only one answer. Under which president did Thanksgiving become an annual holiday?
Is this like a multiple choice one?
No, but I will give you
3 choices.
a rough set of years. This would have happened in the late 1800s-ish. So later than 1850.
1892.
I'm not asking for the year.
Close.
I'm asking for the president.
Abraham Lincoln.
Oh,
JFK.
not
I don't know.
JFK.
I'm just throwing stuff
Not
out there.
Abraham Lincoln was
Oh.
right, EJ. Good job. It was seen as a sign of unity after the Gettysburg Address. And that's when because it had been a holiday, but it was not a government federal holiday until Abraham Lincoln made it so. So that's why. All right, question number 5. In what decade did both the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade and America's Thanksgiving Parade start? So the real question is, what decade do you guys think the Macy's Day Parade with all those balloons started? I'm going to make Devin go first on this one.
I'm thinking.
He said, I'm thinking.
1980s, 1980s.
1980s?
Mm-hmm.
Wrong. Nope. Ben, what do you think?
Well, now I'm unsure because of Devin's answer.
All right. I guess we could skip to EJ real quick. EJ, what's your decade guess? 2020.
I don't know. 1890.
1890.
I mean 1990.
1990s. 1990s?
Yeah, sure. I have no idea.
Nope. All right. Ben.
Well, I was gonna say 2010, but then after Devin said his answer, I just didn't know.
You got a new one? You gotta just say a decade. Oh, it was the 1920s. 1924 to be exact. Macy's Day Parade has been around for a while. That's why one of the most prominent. Actually, that might be part of the next question. I won't go into it. So we do need a tiebreaker because EJ and Ben still got one each. So we don't have a winner yet. All right, what's the next one? Which president was the first to give a turkey a presidential pardon? I actually think I know the answer to this one. So, what president first gave a turkey a pardon?
I'm gonna be honest. I have no idea.
Well, just say a president. Any president.
Roosevelt.
Which one? Teddy or Franklin?
Teddy.
Okay, Teddy Roosevelt? I don't think so. What do you think, EJ?
JFK.
JFK is not a bad guess, actually. JFK would be correct if you wanted to say the first president to make it mainstream. So that was the first president to do it openly and not as a joke. So it's not JFK, but that would have been correct if we were going to take any of the three. The other one that's not correct is Reagan. So there's somebody before each of those that you're looking for. This one might have to end in a tie. Who was it? It was Reagan. Oh, I misled you. That's my fault. Okay. Yes. So Reagan was the first president to officially pardon a turkey, like his actual law. Like this turkey is forgiven of whatever crimes it's committed and therefore will not be killed. And that turned it into a tradition as well. Before him, though, there were two presidents who did it. I only remember that JFK was one of them. There was another president before that who did it literally like it was just this joke to make Congress laugh. And it became this whole thing. So we have two winners. Oh, we have a seventh. What state raises the most turkeys? Ben, go for it. Oh, never mind. He's turning his light off.
Let's go Texas.
Texas?
I was gonna say that.
Okay,
too
I'll
late
change
now.
mine. Nope. I'm gonna keep listing of off states until
Go
I'm
for
right.
it. It's just whoever gets it first.
Kentucky.
California.
Kentucky and California? Nope.
Indiana.
Indiana? Nope.
I don't know.
Give us a clue, Banner Man. I don't even know this one. It probably starts with a W if I had to guess. It's usually states like that.
Nevada.
Nevada? No, I'm about to start guessing on this one because I don't even know. Wisconsin? Washington? Wyoming?
Wyoming doesn't
Colorado.
exist.
Idaho? South Dakota? I don't.
Utah.
There's a lot of states. Have mercy, Ron. What is this? It's in the northern part of the country. Oh, it could be either of the Dakotas then. Montana. No.
Let's just say every.
Northern.
let's just-
Northeast.
Maine.
Northeast. Oh, Maine. That's where they got lobsters. Michigan. Ohio?
You already said that, I think.
No.
No, you didn't.
No, I said Wyoming. Not Ohio. This is difficult.
Well, can
I don't
we
know.
just
New Hampshire? Massachusetts? There's only so many states. The Northern Star. What is that?
Seattle? No,
No,
that's a
that'd
city.
be Northwest. The Northern Star. Kentucky?
That's what I said.
I know, that's what I'm saying. I'm confused. Oh, Virginia or West Virginia. The Wolves? I'm lost, man. I have no idea at this point. Like, that's a team they have? This guy's just leading me on a chase, man.
This is entertaining.
Devin, do you have a guess?
I was gonna say Virginia, but then you said it.
Yeah,
and
I said it. That
wrong.
wasn't it. Vikings. Minnesota?
Washington.
Minnesota.
Oh.
Of course. How could I forget Minnesota? That's so northern. Yeah, we're from Minnesota. Eh? It gets real cold up here. You know, sometimes I'll spray the hose water on my snowed-in driveway to make the wife slip. It's kind of funny, eh? Yeah, that's Minnesota for you, by the way. Everybody's just in a real good mood up there. They all love each other very much, and nothing bad has ever happened in any town near them called Fargo or something like that. So it's all good up there. So onwards to the lesson. Can you guys guess what the theme is based on our trivia today?
Thanksgiving.
Wait, he's got another one. It's throwing me off. What meat did the Native Americans bring to the first Thanksgiving?
It's not turkey.
Yeah, probably not.
It's gonna be like duck,
All I was gonna say is fish. Does fish count as meat in this instance?
deer.
Yeah.
What else? I don't know.
Venison, right? Yeah.
Hmm.
Pigs would have been brought by the pilgrims, so it wouldn't have been pig. Horse meat. Deer was venison. Who said that? Did I say that?
Yeah.
Well, here we are. All right. So you guys had that. Wow, my English speaking module of my brain just fell apart for a second there. All right. So moving on. The lesson I was trying to get to, because I'm so good at this. Thanksgiving is just around the corner. We'll soon be gathering together with family and friends to celebrate the holiday. Or not, depends on what your plans are. When you think of Thanksgiving, what comes to mind? What do you guys think? What comes to mind? Wait,
Decorating.
what? Ooh,
Mike.
decorating.
Cousins.
That's
Seeing
what I was gonna
cousins?
say.
Okay, seeing family. What I think about when I think of Thanksgiving is how much I dislike pumpkin pie.
Ew, you're gross. Pumpkin pie's delicious.
I don't like it. It's a texture thing, man. It's just not good for me.
You ever
I
had it
can't
with
do
whipped
it.
cream?
Okay, listen, if I have to dress something with whipped cream to make it good, it's not good.
Well, I'll eat it plain anyway.
Wait, what food was present at the first Thanksgiving but is rarely eaten at Thanksgiving now? Chestnuts, I'd bet.
Guacamole.
Guacamole. You know what? That's the answer. That's it. That's guacamole, everyone. That's what was at the first one.
Seafood.
Ooh,
I
I
would
would give
say
me some
so.
calamari.
Yeah.
Does river food count as seafood?
Kind
Like if
of.
it comes out of water, is it seafood automatically?
He keeps switching from today's lesson to.
I
the
know
answer
he's
in trivia.
trolling me. So Thanksgiving is about all those things, but the main purpose of Thanksgiving is to pause from our busy lives to give thanks back to God for who He is and what He has done for us. Gratitude means expressing thanks for something or someone. So what do you think it means to live with an attitude of gratitude? We'll
To be a
start with
fan of-
Devin. Oh, wait. Yeah, you can go, Ben. Go ahead.
Well, I was making a joke because you said attitude of gratitude, and I was going to be
Mhm.
like, well, you got to be a SpongeBob fan, one, because there's an episode about that.
Yes.
Okay. Well, that's all I said.
That's it? Oh, well. What do you think, Devin?
Means to be thankful.
Yes, it does. In the essence of it all, it is about being thankful. Living with an attitude of gratitude means that you live in a way that shows thankfulness for everything, both in the good and the bad circumstances in the life we face. I would say let's take a look at Luke 17. If we all take the time to think about it, we have lots of things for which we should be thankful. The problem is that we take these things for granted. Instead of living with an attitude of gratitude, we go in with our day and forget to give thanks for these blessings that we do have in our life, which Luke's going to talk about. Jesus was traveling on his way to Jerusalem when he came across a group of lepers. Now, leprosy is pretty bad. It's one of the top 10 worst things you could have happen to you. It's a skin disease that causes a person to have sores all over their body. The disease would spread and worsen until eventually the person would be crippled by the pain and irritation. It was a nasty disease. Those who had leprosy were outcasts. They were pushed out of their homes, their cities, and they were forced to live with other lepers away from normal life. This was not just a problem in the Middle East, by the way. This disease was pretty widespread. They had cases all the way out in Japan. So it was a pretty big issue around the world. Needless to say, being a leper meant your life was pretty miserable. When Jesus came passing by these lepers knew that he would possibly heal them. Let's read how the story unfolds. So Luke 17:11 through 14, which is, it happened that as he made his way toward Jerusalem, he crossed over the border between Samaria and Galilee. As he entered the village, 10 men, all lepers, met him. They kept their distance but raised their voices, calling out, "Jesus, Master, have mercy on us." Taking a good look at them, he said, "Go, show yourselves to the priests." What did those lepers want Jesus to do? Go for it, Ben.
They wanted him to heal them.
Yes, but what did they literally? That's correct. But what did they literally say they wanted him to do?
They wanted to be saved.
Again,
Yeah.
that's part of what it means, but that's not what they said. What did they say? What did they say?
They said that they wanted him to have mercy.
There you go. That's it. They wanted him to have mercy. What do you think they meant by mercy?
Like, because their lives were miserable, they meant mercy as in him doing something nice instead of not doing anything at all.
Yeah, and especially compared to how their lives were, right? Oftentimes when it was found out that someone had leprosy, they'd be separated from their loved ones even and pushed out of the city. Have mercy is to show compassion to these guys, right? That's what they're asking for. Can't you please show us some compassion, Jesus? We would really appreciate it if someone did. These 10 lepers wanted Jesus to heal them from this disease, obviously, as well, right? Which is what Ben said. I imagine having leprosy is not great. I imagine if you hear guys going around performing miracles for everyone, you're going to be like, well, this is my chance. I might not have any other way. Can you imagine the sight of them running into town with no more leprosy and being reunited with their friends and family that weren't seen in years? Jesus had just... Oh, go ahead, Ben.
I said that'd be epic.
It would be, wouldn't it? Especially because leprosy was such a scary thing back then that people knew who you were if you'd gotten it. Like, the moment that you were showing signs of it, everybody knew who you were, and they knew you were staying on the outside of town, outside the walls, so that they wouldn't get it. And to see those people suddenly come back with no sores on their bodies would be insane, to say the least. Jesus had just spoken the words, and they were healed. But let's take a look at how they responded to what Jesus had done. Luke 17:15 through 19. They went, and while still on their way, became clean. One of them, when he realized that he was healed, turned around and came back, shouting his gratitude, glorifying God. Can you imagine the sight of them running into town with no more leprosy? Oh, wait, we just did that. My bad. Only 1 out of 10 came back to thank Jesus. Out of all 10 of these guys who got healed, only 1 of them came back and gave credit where it was due. How do you think Jesus felt when he saw only the 1 had returned?
Betrayed.
That's right. He kneeled at Jesus' feet, so grateful he couldn't thank him enough. And he was a Samaritan. Jesus said, "Were not 10 healed? Where are the 9? Where are the rest of them? Where are they at? Can none be found to come back and give glory to God except this outsider?" Then he said to him, "Get up, on your way. Your faith is healed. Your faith has healed and saved you." Okay, a couple things to unpack there, right? So of all these presumably faithful people amongst the leper community, only the one who wasn't a member of those faithful came back and was like actually giving credit. So the important piece of the outside perspective is you have the people of God who weren't remembering to give thanks where it was due. So let's get there. So what does that mean? What does Jesus mean when he talks about where are the other 9 of you? Well, why are they not here? Is it only this outsider?
We see that today, right?
Yeah.
Like, even on our time, a lot of times people who are doing well and wealthy and, they don't think they have time for God, but once they're like losing things or they're sick or things are starting to go downhill, then they start turning to God.
Absolutely.
It's like a good thing and a bad thing, right? It makes us like humble and realize what we have and who we are, but at the same time, it's like, should we only praise God when we're not doing well?
Yeah,
And
exactly.
and I think about that all the time too with like famous people or rich people,
Yeah.
and it's like, how much harder it is for them to like give praise to God, because they think they're doing everything on their own sometimes,
Mhm.
but
And
in reality it's God giving them and blessing them.
that's exactly right. And not to mention the backlash they could get for doing it too, right? So it's like in both those, I think it's easy for any of us to forget where our blessings in life do come from. But I think you're right. I think the more you have, the harder it can be. Absolutely. Especially because you start to attribute all those things, like you said, to your own achievements or to the wealth itself. Oh, these good things are coming from the money I got, right? And I think that can absolutely get in the way of us giving credit where it's due. How do you think we just asked this question. How do you think Jesus felt when he saw that only one had returned? And Ben said betrayed. I think that's one thing that he definitely felt for sure. What are some other things you think he could have felt?
Definitely disappointed.
Absolutely. There it is. That's what I was looking for sure. Disappointed beyond compare, I have to imagine, right? Especially because a Samaritan was actually an outsider to the area that a lot of the people from there looked down upon. They looked at Samaritans as these like less than them type people. And he's like, of all the people that would come back and actually give me the credit where it's due, it's this dude that nobody even thinks is any good. In this passage, Jesus offends and convicts the Jews because he places the Samaritan above God's chosen people. So when this is heard about, that he praised this Samaritan, it's like, well, we're God's chosen people. How come you're not giving us all the props? Well, it's like, because you guys didn't do your part.
Yeah, they're
Right?
being stinkies.
I think that could be a good word, right? And I think it's that thing. And now I'm not gonna. What I will say is this: the other lepers, the Jewish lepers who didn't come back and remember to thank God, you have to understand that a lot of us do the same thing. So in a way, aside from the conviction of the sin they've committed and forgetting to be thankful, right? We can't judge them ourselves because we have put ourselves in that situation before. The ones who really end up, you see that kind of like judgment and straight up conviction from God. And the ones who are really, really wrong here are the ones who try to say, well, who weren't even involved and say like, well, we're God's chosen people. We what do you mean we were doing this? But the truth is we as Christians are God's children, right? And we cannot hide behind that title when we're not giving credit when credit is due. We have only ourselves to blame in that instance. So we have some small group questions. As a small group, we will discuss the lesson using the following questions. Do you think the 9 other lepers were thankful for Jesus healing them? If so, why do you think they did not return to thank him?
Ooh.
Go ahead, Ben.
Because, well, maybe this is kind of like a bad excuse for not thanking Jesus, but maybe they just really wanted to see their families, and then they were like, "Bruh."
I think that's a good answer. I think that's very good. I think that they probably were actually thankful to Jesus, but they were so wrapped up in the moment, which should be hard not to be, right? Like you'd have to be very, very focused on God to not get distracted for at least a moment in that they just wanted to go share that they were cured with people again, and also show what God did for them in that sense, and also just enjoy that moment for themselves, right? Imagine, because it's a painful disease and suddenly you feel okay. That'd be crazy. I'm going to give this one to Devin. How hard do you think it was for the one man to leave the others and be different and return to Jesus?
Probably super hard because he probably felt different from him. Felt kind of stupid for just walking away, and he's probably walking to his family right then.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, you're right. He had to wait. That's exactly the point. He chose to forgo the pleasures of seeing his family again to go back and give thanks. Because I have to assume he ran a pretty good distance, right? But he had that attitude of gratitude. So he made sure to remind himself to go back and give thanks, right? And that's something like in normal etiquette. When we are given something nice, like say by a grandparent that's always giving us stuff, sometimes we take that for granted. And we forget the gifts we're being given are from a special place from that person. And it's insulting when we forget. And in fact, there's something about being thankful in the moment that's different than just being suddenly thankful after the fact. So if grandma buys you presents and you forget for like 5 days after your birthday to tell grandma, thanks grandma for the presents, it's not going to mean as much. And it's going to be a little insulting. Like, oh, you didn't have time in your last 5 days to say thanks for the stuff I got you. Are you serious? Give credit where credit's due and when it's due. That's the idea, right? How do you think others reacted to the leper's actions? And I believe this is the leper it's asking about. How do you think others reacted to that leper's actions, turning back?
Wait, it's asking how
do you think others would have reacted to that leper's actions? The one who came back.
the one that go ahead.
Oh, me?
Yeah,
Sure.
yeah.
They would have been like, bruh, he's getting praise from Jesus because he did something and we didn't do it. So, man, you know?
Okay, now interesting, because I think that is the second half of it, but there's a first half too. What do you think the first half of that is, EJ? So the second half is seeing the other leper get praise from Jesus too. What do you think the first half of the reaction would be, though?
I'm not exactly sure.
So like, obviously they're going to see him turn around all of a sudden. So that initial thought when they see him turn around and start running back towards Jesus, what do you think their reaction is?
Okay, so you're saying the other 9 lepers, their reaction to
exactly,
once they first see this one guy turn back to go back
Yeah.
to Jesus?
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess like they had to be thinking like, what is he doing? Where is he going? Why is he not going to his family or whatever? I mean, I would hope that they thought about it. You know, in a sense
exactly.
that
And that's the question. What are you doing? Or like you said, they just totally ignore him. They're like, I'm doing this thing. I don't even need to look over there. And so it's, what are you doing, man? But with that, what are you doing? They very much saw what he was doing afterwards, especially when he's getting praise from Jesus, right? So they're looking at him like, dude, you should be going to see your family. Why are you turning back? Like, you're healed. Live your life. But he said to himself, no, I need to give thanks for this, even though I have another purpose. And that's the key there, is that second half after that. What are you doing? And then, oh, we should have done that. Right? It's like, oh man, he's not only was he blessed and healed, but he's being blessed in conversation with Jesus, and he's being praised for it by Jesus himself. We'll give this one to Ben. Who do you identify with most in this story? The one man who returned or the 9 who did not? Explain why.
I'm going to say the 9 because I can be very ungrateful at times. So
I think that's a lot of us, right? I think for a lot of us in this case, it happens. There are little things, right? Like sometimes you're out on a hike, like in the middle of the woods, and there's nobody around, and you find $20 on the ground, and you're like, "Oh, cool, $20." Now it's not a question of finding the owner. You're in the middle of the woods on your own, and there's no people around. You don't even have that option. But the thing we don't think of is right in that moment, we don't usually go, "Thanks for the $20, God." Right? We're just like, "Ooh, $20," and then that's the whole thought. And it's those little things. Sometimes we forget to be thankful for those little things we have, like, oh man, I have 5 minutes where I don't have to do anything and I don't have to feel stressed about something. Thank you, God, for those 5 minutes. So it's those little things that we forget about, which is why it's crazy that those lepers forgot to thank Jesus for curing their leprosy, right? So those because sometimes like, I'll give you an example. When I was in high school, I had a test coming up that I did not study for, even though I had like 3 weeks to study for it. And I thought for sure I wasn't going to pass it. It was one of the only tests in calculus I ever passed in high school. And then I finished calculus. I finished class that day, and we got our tests back like at the end of the week. And I actually passed the test. But only months later did I realize that I never thanked God for passing that test. It never even occurred to me, even though it's what I prayed for just before that.
Yeah,
I didn't even think of it.
That's just very human of us.
Yeah.
And that's why we have to, spend time praying and to try to help us.
Yeah, exactly. Because we can't do it on our own. Exactly right, EJ. Let's do Devin for this one. What excuses do people usually use for not being more thankful or saying thank you more often?
Because they feel like they've probably like already done enough to them.
That's a good one.
Have enough time, or stuff like that.
Absolutely. That first one's really good. I like that one a lot. I've already done enough. I've already been thankful enough. I said I said thank you for this once or twice. It's enough. But what we forget is that there's a blessing in continuing to have the good things that we have, right? We are blessed to live in a nation where we can worship freely, and we are blessed by being allowed to continue to live in a nation that allows us to worship freely. So our blessings are not permanent. Things can go away because of the way the world works. We can lose things. We forget when we tell ourselves we've been thankful enough that all this could just not be here someday. And I think that's a big one. And the other one you said was, well, I was distracted. I didn't have enough time. I was busy. I'm too busy to be thankful all the time. Right? That's the other one. Is that, and that one really is the more common excuse, I think, for some of us. Like, I didn't think about it. I was doing something else. Or you say, things are hard right now, so I wasn't thinking about that either. When you're not thinking about, when you have your mind on other things, it's easy to forget to say thank you. And not having time is the excuse for that reason. So you say, I've just been so busy lately. Well, now you're excusing yourself from not thanking God for what he's done. Interesting. Did you have any more input on that one, EJ?
I think also some people have a problem like deciding or deciphering between what is something they need to be grateful for versus something that they expect.
Yeah.
So like say if you expect something, maybe you don't need to say thank you. It's like, well, like let's say you go to a restaurant and then like a waiter hands you either like water or something, and a lot of people just be like, yeah, that's their job. They that's what I'm paying them to do, as opposed to being like just saying thank you and all that. Or like with parents, a lot of people like expect things from their parents. Like,
Yep.
I'm not surprised that I got a birthday present. Like, I don't have to say thank you. They're my parents. They have to give me but obviously it's not the case for everyone, and that's not like the point. So once people realize the difference between expecting something and that's when they start becoming grateful.
That's really good. That's really good, because as Christians, I think we do expect a lot. We expect to wake up every morning. We expect to have food on the table. We expect to have all these things because we believe we deserve them too. That's the other part, I think, is the belief of deserving. And so we think, well, I shouldn't have to say thank you for what I already deserve. And when we think we deserve something, we expect it. Absolutely. Right on, EJ. What's up, Ben?
So I'm going to say a joke that is not very funny, but you said how some people expect to wake up in the morning. Well, some people in my family didn't get that opportunity.
He turned his mic off for some reason. Where's the rest of the joke, Ben?
That was the joke.
That's dark.
That's how my grandfather.
That's incredibly dark. Jeez. All right. Wait, you said that's how your grandfather went? Well, I'm sorry to hear that. Hopefully it wasn't too much for you.
It was like when I was a baby. I don't even remember what it looks like.
Got it. Well, All right. Well, I appreciate you being open with us. So, what is one thing? Wait, what? For everybody. Oh, got it. This one's open discussion. Please jump in as you please, argue with each other, debate. What is one thing that God has recently done in your life that you could thank him for today?
So this computer that I'm using right now, actually, I use it to edit the videos for our church and to, play games and do schoolwork and stuff like that. And I realized I actually got it for free from Pastor Dean, and his dad made that for him. And if God hadn't given that form to me, I wouldn't have been able to edit the church's YouTube videos or anything.
Mm-hmm. And you just wouldn't have it either, right?
Yeah, and I just
That's
wouldn't
the-
have it. I wouldn't have learned a lot of things, actually, because I've learned a lot of things with this computer.
That's awesome. I can throw one in too, personally. I would say it's this job. That's something that I'm thankful for. And I say, it says recently, but I think that I can count it as recently because it was only within the last 3 years. And I recently have been I've gained the ability to dive deeper into it. I've gained the ability to work with even more youth than I have before. I love seeing all you guys, especially in person, but when we can't, I love seeing you guys on here, and I love having those mediums available to me now to still talk to you guys even in this pandemic. So that's what I'm thankful for.
Yeah, I mean, my mind was just racing over everything that I have right now currently. It's just hard to say one thing or pick one thing, but I think that's how everyone feels, and that's how everyone thinks too. But I guess school right now, online schooling, and all the teachers and professors still trying to try to make things work, even though a lot of people are having difficulties. And obviously, this is probably not the best setup to learn something new. But I do appreciate, the professors spending spending the extra time doing the online stuff too, because they have to figure out everything just like the students do.
That's true.
And so I just growing up with technology and all that, a lot of the older professors don't have that, or that, I guess, luxury, where they still just teach out of books. They don't have online quizzes or online study things and whatnot. So when they or everything that happened recently, switching over to online, they had to learn all that stuff too. So I guess I'm just thankful for that.
And it's even harder for some of them because there's some older individuals who weren't used to this kind of thing at all. I think we discount how hard it is for generations that are older than some of us to relearn some of this stuff, and they're still putting in the effort to do it. And I think that's another thing to be thankful for. But I wanted to say, EJ, when you first started, before you got specific, you were saying that all the things you have were racing through your mind. I think that can also be condensed to one thing, which is abundance. You can be thankful for the abundance of things you have too, right? I think that.
I can't think of something that I'm not thankful for.
Exactly. So, and so there's thankful. You can be thankful for having so much to be thankful for, right? Thankception. Yeah. But it's like there's so much to be thankful for, and it's so nice to have all these things to be thankful for, because there are people in the world where the list is much more limited. They still have reasons to be thankful, but that list is so much shorter for a lot of people. And then last but not least, we get to Ben. Ben, what is one thing that God has recently done in your life that you could thank him for today?
I'm going to say the same thing that EJ said.
The online school?
What you said for EJ.
Oh, for abundance.
No, the abundance of stuff that I have. Because I got lots of stuff. Would you like me to give you an example?
Sure, man.
So, my brother, he checks my homework and stuff before I turn it in, and I get paid for that.
So, I'm just going to cut that one real quick and say that I'm going to say that you're probably thankful for your brother to some degree, right?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Because he makes it so that I read stuff thoroughly, and stuff like that.
He's got you. He's got your back. And, you know, I think that's another one we forget to be thankful for. It's so easy to be in fights and arguments and just tiffs with siblings or other family members in a lot of families. That's obviously not the case with everyone. Somewhere out there, there's a perfect family where everything's always awesome every day. That's fine. But I think even when it's not, it's important to be thankful for the fact that we have those people, that we do, for the most part, have people that love us and have our backs. I think that that's important too. Absolutely. Thank you guys so much for sharing that. So that's the end of our small group questions. So I want to just go ahead, if I may, pray us out, and then we'll get to the announcements. This week's challenge, by the way, is be an example to others of living with an attitude of gratitude. So be an example by showing that you are thankful for what you have and not feeling and not expressing wanting for more. You can. It's interesting to want more. It's not a sin in and of itself. It is when it becomes the most important thing to you. And that's the difference. And, you know, we can help others feel better about what they have if we show that we are thankful for what we have. So, real quick before I start praying, does anyone have prayer requests? Nothing from Ben. Devin, you got anything?
That we drive to my uncle's houses safely.
Safely? Safe passage. You got it. EJ, you got anything for me?
Just the general, all the nurses and first responders.
Absolutely.
You know.
All the essentials.
Yeah.
You got it. All right, guys. So if you can go ahead and bow your heads with me, I'll get us started. So, thank you, Jesus, for this day. Thank you for this lesson that we've gotten to share together. Thank you for everything you do. Thank you for the blessings you pour upon us. Thank you for taking care of us. Thank you for what we have. Thank you for the things we will gain. And thank you for what we will have in the future, whatever that is. I also want to thank you for the sacrifices you made for us. Lord, I pray that you would continue to keep everyone safe in their travels, that you keep everyone safe in their visiting, keep everyone safe in their own homes. I pray that you would keep our first responders, our doctors, our cleaners, anyone that is trying to help life maintain a normalcy in this country, anyone that's essential and has to work, the grocery stores, the mail office, all that stuff. I pray that you would keep them safe as well. I pray that they would be in good health and good spirits. And I pray that we would all be thankful that we have these things, God. I pray that every person in this country would be thankful that you have provided this for us. I pray all these things in your Son, Jesus' heavenly name. Amen. All right. Well, thank you, everyone, for joining us today. If you liked it, go ahead and hit that like button. And if you want to, go ahead and subscribe. And don't forget to mark the bell for notifications so you don't miss next week's. All right, everybody. We love you all. Have a blessed week and see you next time.